If you want to live a wealthy and happy life, learn this one lesson. And learn it well, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I learned long ago that your income will never grow far beyond your personal development. Now, yes, sometimes you can get lucky. You might land a promotion or catch a break, win big for a while. But unless you grow to meet that level, life will bring you right back down to where you truly are. Because life has a funny way of balancing things out. If someone gives you $1 million, the first thing you better become is a millionaire in mind and spirit, or you won't keep it for long. The money will vanish as quickly as it came. Someone once said, if all the money in the world were divided equally among everyone, it would soon find its way back to the same pockets. And that's true. Why? Because wealth isn't just money, it's the mindset, discipline, and understanding behind it. Success is something you attract, not something you chase. You don't run after success. You become the kind of person success is drawn to. That's the secret. You work on yourself. You grow in wisdom, character, and habits. Because true happiness isn't found in what you get. It's found in what you become. Now, if you're serious about change, if you truly want to transform your life, your personality, and your lifestyle, let me share with you 3 steps that started it all for me. Step 1, to find out how things work. To change your life, you need ideas. That's it. There isn't a single thing that an idea can't change. I remember when I told my mentor, I don't have any money. He looked at me and said, that's not your problem. I was confused. I thought no money was the problem. But he said, no, the real problem is that you don't have an idea. You don't know yet how to create money or attract wealth. You're not missing money. You're missing ideas. And he was right. Once I started gathering ideas, everything changed. So if you want success, study success. If you want happiness, study happiness. If you want wealth, study wealth. Don't leave it to luck or chance. Make it a study. Too many people live with their fingers crossed, hoping life will just work out. That's not how it works. You've got to learn how things work. The principles, the patterns, the disciplines, the things that can change your economic, personal, and spiritual life. My mentor also taught me, when you learn something valuable, write it down. Don't use your head as a filing cabinet. So I started keeping a journal. Every good idea went in there. Because once you have it written, you can review it, repeat it, and revisit it until it takes root. Repetition is the key. When you go over those ideas again and again, something happens. One mysterious day, an idea suddenly takes hold, and then it shows up in your life, in your bank account, in your attitude, in your results. Now, if you're curious about how to find ideas that change your life, there are 3 ways to do it. First, read. Every successful person I've met around the world is a reader. They're curious. They want to know. They study. They don't stop learning. Standard education will give you standard results, and you can check the numbers if you want to see what those are. But if you want more than that, you've got to become self-educated. You can learn from your own experience, but you can also learn from other people's experiences. And that's faster. One book might save you 5 years of trial and error. Did you know there are books on how to be stronger, more confident, a better leader, a better speaker? Books that teach how to influence others, how to manage time, how to master your emotions. And yet most people never read them. Imagine that. People spend years struggling through life while answers are sitting right there on a shelf. Now, I'm not saying you have to read half the night, but at least commit to 30 minutes a day. Read something positive, challenging, inspiring, instructional. Just 30 minutes a day will start to reshape your thinking. That's my advice, but don't take it as gospel. Listen to others too. Compare, evaluate, and make up your own mind. Don't be a follower, be a student. Second, listen. Get around successful people and listen carefully. You can even learn from unsuccessful people. Take notes on both. Find out what unsuccessful people read, and don't read it. That's useful information too. But spend time around people who are doing well. Listen to how they talk, what they focus on, how they describe their day. Here's one of the best pieces of advice I ever received. Poor people should take rich people out to dinner and listen. Now, that rarely happens. The poor man says, he's rich. Let him buy his own dinner. And that's why he stays stuck. If you can spend a couple of hours with someone successful, asking questions, listening carefully, you might get an idea worth 10 times the price of that meal. One insight could double, triple, or even multiply your income many times over. So yes, buy the dinner. Invest in that conversation. It might change your entire life. Observe. Watch successful people. Study them. Success always leaves clues. Watch how they greet others, how they speak, how they carry themselves. People who succeed consistently do certain things over and over. If you're observant, you'll start to notice patterns, habits. Little things that make a big difference. Even something as simple as posture, handshake, or tone can teach you something. If someone's earning $10 a month, I'd watch how he walks. Maybe that's part of it. Sure, it sounds funny, but every habit tells a story. Be an observer. See, there are two kinds of sight. One is with your eyes, the other is with your mind. When you see with your eyes, you see what is. When you see with your mind, you start to see what can be. So wherever you are, be there. Pay attention. You can pick up ideas that can change your life starting tomorrow. If you stay alert, that's the foundation. Find out how things work. You've just learned 3 ways to start. Read, listen, and observe. Now let's move to the second part, putting that knowledge into action. Now once you've learned how things work, there's only one thing left to do. Go to work. Knowledge alone won't change your life. It's what you do with that knowledge that makes the difference. If there's one thing you should get excited about, it's your ability to make yourself do what needs to be done. That's power. Ask yourself, what could I make myself do starting tomorrow that would completely change my life? What new action could turn it all around? That's exciting to think about, because on any given day, you can decide to change your entire direction. You can change your habits, your results, your destiny, by what you choose to start doing. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. And here's the key: start small. Get excited about small disciplines, because it's the small ones that prepare you for the big ones. If you can't manage the little things, the daily habits, the routines, the promises you make to yourself, then when life hands you something major, you won't have the muscle to carry it. So start simple. Make a list of things you can control, things you can act on today, and get to work. Discipline yourself not only for the results, but for the practice. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen that inner muscle. And one day that strength will carry you through life's biggest challenges. But skip the small stuff, and you'll never be ready for the big ones. Now, along with discipline, you need one more quality: self-motivation. And that's the only kind there really is. You can't wait for someone else to light your fire. People say, I just need someone to motivate me. But what if they don't show up? Then what? You've got to learn to light your own fire, to wake up with purpose, to push yourself when no one's watching. That's the difference between people who drift and people who drive. Drifters wait for life to happen. Drivers make it happen. So learn to motivate yourself. Because when you do, you take control of your future. Now, here's something I learned the hard way. Don't let your learning stop at knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. If all you do is collect ideas, you'll end up smart, but stuck. Knowledge without action makes you a fool. Action based on knowledge makes you successful. And remember, wealth isn't only about money. There are many kinds of wealth: time, love, health, peace, relationships, and purpose. Money is important, but it's one of the least of all values. I've known people with plenty of money, but very little life, so work for balance. Work on the whole person. Now let's move to the final piece of this lesson, a simple but powerful caution that can save you years of frustration. Step 3D. Don't try to beat the system. Find out how life works, and then work it. But don't try to cheat it. Don't try to cut corners. Because every shortcut in life comes with a hidden cost. Some people learn just enough to start bending the rules, trimming the edges, doing things halfway, and they wonder why the results don't last. If you play cheap, you live cheap. Do it right, even if it takes longer. Because right is always faster in the long run. Find the principles that work and commit to them. Don't compromise with what's true, honest, or fair. Now, if I could sit down with you one-on-one, just you and me, I'd tell you this: reach deep inside yourself this year. There are gifts in you that you haven't used yet, talents you haven't tapped, strength you haven't tested. They're waiting. And once you reach down and bring them out, you can change anything you want. Your income, your relationships, your habits, your future. You can change starting right now. You never have to be the same after today unless you choose to be. That's the key word: choice. Starting tomorrow, what will you do that will change your life's direction? What habit will you break? What promise will you keep? What small step will you take? Because if you don't change something tomorrow, then tomorrow will look a lot like today. And if tomorrow looks like today, then the next 5 years will look like the last 5. You can see your future. Just look at your past. But here's the great news. Any day you wish, you can change it all. You can rewrite the story. You can turn everything around. You can start fresh. That's the beauty of life. It's always choice time. And the best time to choose is now.